From FedEx Forum and the American Home Shield Studio, this is The Odds Couple on GrindCityMedia.com. Handicapping all the football action, here's Rob Fischer and Lang Whitaker.
Hello, good people. Welcome to The Odds Couple. Yes, we are back. Rob Fischer, Lang Whitaker, John Roser here as well. How are you, sir?
Got a hat on today.
I do. This is because I have quarantine hair.
I
got my hair cut 2 months ago by my wife. Yeah. So it's back, and I need to get it cut.
I'm just going with it. I got quarantine hair and beard, facial quarantine hair, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Everybody's got a little facial thing going on.
Even me, which is just never happened before.
It's given us all an excuse not to shave.
Yeah, it's been nice.
Yeah. It's been a 3-month hiatus since professional golf was played. That we're going to talk a lot of golf today. The PGA Tour resumes action this week at the Charles Schwab Challenge at Colonial Country Club in Fort Worth, Texas. We'll talk about that. Jon Goin's going to join us coming up on the program. A PGA Professional, also owner of Timber Trust Golf Course in Olive Branch. He's going to join us on the show. Plus, we will talk a little football. SEC football planning on playing their season. And we have some numbers. We have some numbers for SEC football.
We all know
already.
Alabama's going to be the leader. We all know.
Right?
Yeah.
It's the
Even though,
trends say, as we know.
Half the first round was Alabama players, but we still know it's good.
Oh, how are they going to reload?
Yeah,
Same question
right.
every year. We will talk about that. Also, there are some odds out now that the NBA has announced they're going to resume play at the end of July. There are some odds on who will win the championship, and there are odds on who will be the 8th seed in the Western Conference. So we'll go over those coming up a little later. So
Memphis versus everybody.
Memphis versus everybody.
Yeah.
Again. That's all right.
That's how it always is, right?
It's all right. It'll be compelling. It'll be fun, just like this program, The Odds Couple.
Compelling or fun?
Golf has been gone 3 months. March 12th was the last time that they teed it up on the PGA Tour after the first round of the Players' Championship. Golf then was canceled, and it's coming back in a big way this week with the top 5 in the world rankings playing, 17 of the top 20 in the FedEx Cup playing as well. Matt Kuchar, he's playing this week. His odds plus 4,500 for Cooch, although normally his nickname is the Human ATM because he will cash a check week in and week out. He's playing this week. He talked about golf being shut down and really just not knowing how serious it was at first.
It's unprecedented. I was thinking about talking to a friend last night. We had just played the Seminole Member Pro together. There's a list of all the tournaments, all the champions. And the last time there hasn't been an event is World War II. And now all of a sudden we're going to have events. I mean, it's hard to think this is on that scale, but the last time a lot of events were canceled were due to World War II. This coronavirus has changed our world. Crazy, the domino effect that's gone on. I guess I probably just don't know enough about what this disease really is. To me, it sounds like it's just a worst case of the flu, but clearly it's way more severe than my understanding of the disease with what's gone on with NCAA basketball tournament, canceling the players, canceling golf now through the Masters. It must be far more severe than my knowledge of what this disease really is.
And I think that's how everybody pretty much was at first.
You know, they say you learn something new every day. Today I learned what Matt Kuchar sounds like. I've never heard him talk before, and that is not what I would have guessed. He's like, I don't know.
Were these old clips? How old was this audio?
That was when we first decided golf was going to be canceled. Yeah.
He does sound like a Georgia Tech graduate. I'd point that out.
Of course, coming from a dog.
Go Dogs.
Justin Thomas playing this week. First time he's playing at Colonial, and the Masters, of course, postponed. And this is, as Kuchar was talking about, unprecedented times. And to have the Masters being played now November 12th through the 15th, it's going to be really different.
But then there'll be another Masters 6 months later.
So we'll have 2 Masters in the same golf season.
Yeah.
2 U.S. Opens in the same golf season as well. We're going to have 6 majors next season.
I mean, look, everyone's been complaining about nothing to watch on TV.
It's coming.
Yeah, man, it's going to be an avalanche once this thing starts up. But it is confusing and a little strange. And, I mean, beggars can't be choosers, I guess. Like,
Yeah.
if it's coming, we got to watch it.
Yeah, and Justin Thomas talked about the Masters and how surprising it was when it was postponed.
Selfishly, I want to play, but this is it's way beyond that. You have to take a lot of other factors and measures into consideration here, and the safety and health of everybody else involved in the tournament is the number one priority. So I know that they don't want to postpone it, and they know that we don't want them to do that, but at the end of the day, there's nothing we can do about it, and that's just the reality right now. I obviously have hopes that we'll get to play it, and whenever we do, we do. I mean, I don't care if it's 25 degrees and nobody's there. I'm going to go play with the chance to win the Masters, and but again, that is down the road.
November 12th through 15th could be 25 degrees,
Yeah.
right? An outside shot.
Well, you
Not in
mentioned
Augusta.
You mentioned like the majors that are coming up in like a full season. We're gonna have 6. The Ryder Cup is the week after the U.S. Open this year, and like think about how intense the Ryder Cup is. I mean, a lot of big events. Obviously, the rescheduled WGC event here, the FedEx St. Jude Invitational. That's the week before the PGA Championship this year.
Yeah.
No, there's a lot of big-time events, especially golf, that are just going to be crammed into a couple months.
Yeah, and that's why you're seeing great fields like you are this week at the Charles Schwab Challenge at Colonial. Ricky Fowler echoes everybody's sentiments as he comes into plus 2,800 this week and 94th in the FedEx Cup standings. Not a great start for Fowler on the year when it was postponed, but he comes back and talked about, well, golf pretty much being secondary here recently.
Golf, it's just a game that we get to play, which is pretty special, but outside of golf and sports and stuff like that, life's a lot bigger than sports and golf. So to have some tournaments canceled or postponed is what it is. I mean, there's a lot bigger things than us and golf. It's about everyone being healthy and in a good place.
The one thing I'm pretty excited about with all this going on, August 21st, will be the release of PGA Tour 2K. 2K, who makes the NBA game we all play, is dropping their first PGA Tour video game. And let me just say, we've been playing a 7-year-old Tiger Woods video game, being the gamers in there, and I have been just drubbing them in this game. I'm really good at it. So I'm thinking when this game comes out, this might be my chance to go pro as a gamer.
Oh, yeah?
2K.
Are you going to announce it on the show?
I might. Justin Thomas is on the cover of the game. He's the big star of the game, and I figure, like, we got time to put in, right? Like, we
Absolutely.
got time to sit there and play. Like, so I'm pretty.
When's
I'm
this,
feeling
August
bullish about it.
21st?
August 21st, 2K21.
All right.
PGA Tour 2K21.
Beautiful.
We're gonna have Grizz golfing.
Grizz golfing.
Grizz
Absolutely.
golfing,
We will talk more golf. Jon Goin's going to join us coming up a little bit later on. We'll also have some picks for not only this week, but for the rest of the season on the PGA Tour. So that'll be coming up here on the Odds Couple. SEC football's planning on playing football, and some of the football this fall at least.
Yeah.
And ESPN FPI preseason projected win totals are out, and you're right, Alabama's at the top at 10.9.
I haven't looked at these totals. I'm guessing in the East, Georgia, Florida, somewhere.
Georgia 10.2, Florida 9.7.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about Georgia just because we now have 5 quarterbacks. Jake Fromm left.
What's new?
The problem is that there's a lot of good ones, and Kirby Smart doesn't have the best track record of picking the best one.
Right.
You know, we saw it last year. So we'll see. I don't know. I don't know if this is Georgia's year.
I saw a list listing the top 5 quarterbacks in the country for this season, and on that list is Kyle Trask.
Kyle Trash.
Yeah.
I mean,
Top 5 quarterbacks in the country?
a lot of them left. Right?
I mean, top 2 in the SEC on this list were Kyle Trask and Bo Nix.
a bunch of those dudes
Well-
graduate. Well, yeah.
Well, 1 and 2 is what? Lawrence and Fields.
Yeah.
Like those
Yeah.
would be 1, 2. Yeah. Whatever order you want to put them in.
But I mean, all the other guys are gone. Like, you know,
And they're like a class above everybody. It's like
Yeah,
Lawrence and
100%.
Fields are in a tier
Yeah.
by themselves, and then
Kyle
that's where the
Trask?
drop off.
had a lot of leadership, didn't he?
I guess.
The one thing I thought
It's Dan Mullen. Maybe it's all about Dan Mullen.
Does
Yeah.
Shea Patterson have eligibility left? Is he still at Michigan?
Feels like it.
I think he might
He
still
might
be
have
there.
transferred. He
He's
might
a
be in
sophomore.
Hawaii now.
Yeah. Shea Patterson probably is a sophomore.
he's like Rusty Medeiros, who was at Miami for 12 years as a
Right.
linebacker.
I feel like he played under like Hugh Freeze at Ole Miss, which was like forever ago.
He might have. I mean, Georgia got the kid from Wake Forest to transfer, Jamie Newman, and then they got the kid from USC, JT Daniels.
Yeah.
And they've got a 5-star prospect, 2 of them coming in. Like,
Yeah, Slovis from USC was the third, I think, on both. Both lists.
Yeah.
That I saw.
Yeah,
and then Trask somehow. Ed Orgeron's team, they are defending national champions. Their ESPN FPI preseason projected win total is 9.6. Orgeron said he's maintaining title expectations with Miles Brennan at quarterback.
There's a new team, new leadership. We got a lot of coaches. We got to set the standard of performance here. And that's about me. I'm the energy guy. I set the standard, and I can't let it slip. So I'm staying in the office longer, working longer. When you back up to the Heisman winner, you got to keep your mouth shut. I know this. I know the Brennan family very well. They've been very patient, and they've been waiting for this time. I expect Miles to explode, and I expect him to do all the things that he needs to do to be a great quarterback. I've always believed in Miles. I believe he's a championship quarterback. I believe he's going to be great for us.
There you go. 9.6 wins according to the FPI. CBSSports.com has them 9-3, and the Sporting News has them going to the Peach Bowl.
Was he standing on like a deck and that was like a boat pulling up behind him or something?
We've seen him tell people to shut up before at press conferences.
Yeah.
That would have been interesting.
I hear him talk. I'm like, that guy won a national championship. Like, what?
I mean, they lost Joe Burrow, right? But they kept the offensive staff, so maybe that's like the big win there. And
well, they lost Brady. They lost.
True.
Yeah, they lost him. He's with Panthers. He went to the Panthers. So, they Jefferson too. They're loaded at receiver. I mean, they talent isn't an issue at LSU.
I feel like it's more of an issue there than Alabama, though. I'm not looking at the depth chart, but Alabama's had this 8-year period to load up, and LSU's just kind of getting to that, standing up. And, you lose like Edwards-Helaire or one of those guys. Those guys are a little harder to replace maybe than they would be.
Yeah. Well, you changed your offense completely last year, and it worked with the personnel that you had. Yeah. Can it continue to work with the personnel that you now have? Yeah. Alabama, meanwhile, exactly like you said, they just reload. Lost everybody to the draft, but went out and got another great recruiting class. Nick Saban talking about it and why players would want to go to Bama.
I know today you all talk a lot about, rankings and ratings and, who did what in recruiting. And I think the key thing for us is, we felt like we got a lot of good players, character, quality people who want to get an education, who are good football players. The tradition is such an important part of what players want to be involved with. But when they see the spirit and enthusiasm and passion that our fans have, I think that goes a long way to allowing players to know this is the kind of place that it'd be really fun to play at.
Spirit and passion, enthusiasm.
Excitement, yeah. 10.9 on the FPI. Sporting News has them in the playoff 4, losing to Clemson, and CBSSports.com has them 12-0. Pretty remarkable what they've put together.
Yeah.
At Alabama.
Every year.
Juggernaut.
Yeah. Every year.
All right, we'll have a couple of other nuggets regarding the SEC numbers coming up a little bit later on. But when we come back, we're going to visit with Jon Goin and talk about the PGA Tour getting back in action this week. We'll look at some of the players this week that are playing at the Charles Schwab Challenge at Colonial Country Club in Fort Worth, Texas. We'll do that with John when we return and hear what Tiger's been doing during quarantine. Yeah, that's coming up here on The Odds Couple.
It's your boy Fat Joe here, world-famous rapper and world-famous direct auto insurance spokesman. Listen, I know what it's like to have money issues, but that didn't matter to Direct Auto. They'll work with you and get you the car insurance you need. You don't have to be rolling in the dough to get it going again. Go to directauto.com.
Get direct and get going. Save up to 25%. Direct Auto Insurance, Nashville, Tennessee. Rates apply. Discount subject to limitations, terms, and conditions. How you buy impacts cost.
Grammy and Oscar award-winning artist Cher is bringing her Here We Go Again tour to FedEx Forum on Wednesday, September 16th. The show will also feature special guests Nile Rodgers and Chic. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com or the FedEx Forum box office.
In everything we do, defensive activity, offensive execution, play together, have an edge about us. Just play with an edge. Play with an edge and play together.
Durant, blocked for Jared, blocked by James. Dylan Brooks with authority. Tyus Jones to Brandon Clark. A turn and gun. He got it. Jones for three. Stolen, blocked by Jared.
Yeah, stay together, Blue. Stay together. Way to roll me, kid. Let's leave it out there.
John Goin with elevation.
Award-winning and Grammy-nominated artist Luke Combs will continue his extensive What You See Is What You Get tour with a stop at FedEx Forum this fall on Saturday, September 26th. The tour will also feature special guests Ashley McBride and Ray Fulcher. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com or at the FedEx Forum box office. Luke Combs, Saturday, September 26th at FedEx Forum.
Grammy Award winner James Taylor and his All-Star Band are returning to FedEx Forum on Saturday, June 26, 2021, with special guest Jackson Brown. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com or at the FedEx Forum box office. Visit FedExForum.com for more details.
Welcome back to GrindCityMedia.com, live from FedEx Forum and the American Home Shield Studio. Now, here's more of the odds couple, Rob Fischer and Lang Whitaker.
Hey, Grizz Nation, download the all-access, all-in-one Grizzlies mobile app. Get 3 experiences with one app, including a fresh Grizzlies look and feel, along with access to FedEx Forum events and Grind City Media news and notes on all things Grizzlies, NBA, and more. From podcasts to purchasing tickets and more, the new Grizzlies app has it all. Upgrade your experience and download the Grizzlies app today at the App Store and Google Play. Welcome back, everyone, to the odds couple. Rob Fischer, Lang Whitaker with you. John Roser here as well. No golf for the last 3 months. March 12th, last time the guys teed it up. Although we did have a couple of charity events, including Tiger Woods in that event with Peyton Manning and Tom Brady and Phil Mickelson. That was a lot of fun. The match.
It was fun for a Falcons fan to watch Tom Brady lose about 3 sleeves of balls.
I think that was great for a lot of human beings to watch him lose 3 sleeves of balls. Tiger Woods, meanwhile, talking to PGA Tour.com, talked about what he's been doing on his time during quarantine.
I have not gained any weight, but I have gotten stronger. I've got a little bit more pliable, but I have not put on a lot of weight because every now and again I'll go for a ride outside. Cycle down the road and come back, and whatever water weight I put on, I've lost. Getting outside and sweating, it feels good to be outside at home, but yeah, feeling the breeze hit my face and by cycling feels fantastic, and I know that when I come home I'm not going to be able to do much, so I end up cycling for longer. I've been trying to help Sam and Erica with this ungodly puzzle that they have. They just finished a 2,000-piece puzzle, and now it's a 3,000-piece puzzle.
Oh, that's serious.
I struggle because I'm partially colorblind, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, with that being said, I don't know certain colors, so I said, is this right? Is this right? Is this right? They get sick and tired of me asking. So they end up shooting me away from the puzzle.
Did we know that?
Was this on Keegan Sports, by the way? Like,
yeah,
where did this clip come from?
And was he standing next to Ed Orgeron too? Because it sounded like
he had a truck going
by. The car passed Orgeron, and then it went by Tiger.
Went right by Tiger.
Like, what?
Colorblind Tiger.
It's like we've been doing puzzles.
All right, joining us now to talk a little golf. He's a PGA professional, owner of Timber Trust Golf Course in Olive Branch. Jon Goin is with us. Hello, John.
Fish, how you doing?
Doing very well, man. Thank you very much for joining us today. Golf is back. We're excited to see him tee it up this week.
Golf is back. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens this week with no spectators and everything else. But, it should be a little bit more entertaining than what we've had with Goofy Golf these last couple of events.
Yeah, no kidding. I wonder, because it feels as though golf, more so than any professional sport, maybe bowling, you could throw out there, professional bowling, that social distancing and not having fans won't make that much of a difference. How much do fans, do you think, make a difference on a weekend on tour?
Yeah, it's I think depending on what's happening within a player's round, they could feed a little bit off of it. I mean, clearly if we're talking Ryder Cup, it's probably a different conversation altogether.
Right.
But I still think that the players, regardless of whether they would admit it or not, probably still enjoy having folks there to cheer on good shots, and they might feed off of that a little bit.
Yeah, and I wonder, guys like Tiger, who's not playing this week, but a guy like Tiger, it might be better not to have everyone just surrounding him and crowding him, but he probably gets a lot of his fire and intensity from the crowd that follows him around.
Well, you've seen it over the years. I mean, when he chips in at Memorial on multiple occasions, and some of these shots that he has hit, at Augusta National and others. I mean, clearly there's a point where Tiger does feed off of the crowd based off of the shot that he hits and how he performs. So, like I said, I think that there is going to be a little bit to it. But at the same time, clearly, to your point, I mean, these guys do get inside the ropes. They do talk a lot about, being inside the ropes and being able to block some of this stuff out, and it seems like at times that the acknowledgments to the crowd are a bit more polite than anything. So, but, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how things progress and whether we do ultimately get back to, having spectators out on the golf course and everything along those lines.
Let's go ahead and finish the Tiger portion of the show. Will we see him in Memphis?
I don't think so.
Because it's the week before the PGA?
Well, I mean, historically, Tiger has liked playing the week before the PGA, but it's been the Bridgestone event.
Right.
He liked that golf course, and it was, a Tiger track, for lack of a better term. I don't know. It would be very interesting. I would have thought or hoped that Tiger would have come last year for the inaugural. Clearly, though, after his performance at the Open Championship, you could see why there was no way in the world he was going to actually be able to play any golf for a prolonged period of time. So, but I see Tiger being at a point now, especially in a year like this, that he's solely going to focus on the majors, the balance of this year, try to win, and try to continue the countdown to Jack's, major record, and see if he can still pull this off at his age.
This week at the Charles Schwab Challenge at Colonial Country Club in Fort Worth, Texas, Jordan Spieth is home this week in Fort Worth. He won the event in 2016, but when I look at his odds this week, he's plus 4,600 to win. That's behind Shane Lowry, Scotty Scheffler, Matthew Fitzpatrick, and Cullen Morikawa, and Mark Leishman. Where's Jordan Spieth?
I think Jordan Spieth's been lost for a bit. I think, obviously 2015 was a huge year for Jordan, winning, multiple majors, all of these putts that he was making and everything else. And ever since then, his putting has really left him. And he has been struggling and searching to try to find a putting stroke ever since. So, and clearly, too, I don't think that Jordan has had a shot that he can go to. I mean, it just seems like once the putter left him, that the struggles began, and he's just not had an answer for anything. And nothing in his game helps pick him up and bring him any sort of motivation and allows him to kind of get past what he's going through with the flat stick right now. So, I mean, hopefully this time off for Jordan has been, working with his coach and trying to figure out what has been going on with the putter for at least the last, 3-4 years or so, ever since he had that magical season. So that's where I think he's kind of at right now, is he's just got a lot of stuff going on in his head and just can't get beyond the flat blade.
Rory McIlroy is the overwhelming favorite this week at plus 700. Next is Bryson DeChambeau at plus 1,800. Rory, he has been phenomenal until play was stopped. Top 5 in his last 7 starts. However, he's never played at Colonial. Top 10 in 12 of his last 14, including 2 wins. Rory's got it going. How much does this break? Does it hurt everybody, do you think? A little rust for everybody?
Yeah, it's funny. I was talking to somebody the other day about this exact same thing. I mean, how do you have a favorite in anything this week? I mean, historically, as we have gone through and looked at golf picks and tried to pick events, you get either a previous week's performance or multiple weeks' performance, and you can kind of start seeing some trends. And right now, you can't find a trend with anybody because nobody's been playing golf at all. Dustin Johnson looked terrible, and when they played in their little match event, Tiger looked spectacular when he played, in the match with Peyton Manning. So it's it's just going to be hard to say, what's going to happen with these guys kind of going into these first few events in particular before we can really kind of start seeing how the layoff has affected their game. Rory makes sense. Obviously, he's probably the highest-ranked player in the field. I'm not really taking a real hard look at it, but, I would tend to think he's probably the highest-ranked player in the field. And, so he makes the most sense going into it. It's just going to be interesting to see for everybody how they've been spending these, 3 months.
Yeah. Phil Mickelson is a 2-time winner there. He's plus 15,000 to win this week. Says he's in great shape. He did lose in the match. What can we still get from Phil Mickelson? What could be what's the biggest thing we could get?
I think that, hopefully to have Phil contend in a couple of majors here and there and maybe surprise us, in the U.S. Open. That's ultimately, I think, what everybody's rooting for. It's pretty evident that Phil's game is definitely on the decline. He fights and scratches and claws to put some stuff together, but it's evident that he's probably just at a point where he's played a heck of a lot of golf and he's made more than enough money, and he's just kind of gonna put as much into it as he wants to put into it right now. I'm sure he's more than happy spending time with his family and his kids, and they're all growing, and he's probably getting ready to have high school graduations and college age kids and all of these things, and that's probably a lot more important to Phil right now. So I think that I think similar to Tiger right now, if Phil can figure out a way to contend in some majors, if he can scrape it around and just kind of get his game honed up in some of these earlier events, prepping for a major and kind of go from there. But I don't see Phil. I see Phil's better days obviously being behind him at this point.
We were talking before the show with the U.S. Open now September 17th through 20th and the Masters November 12th through 15th. We're going to have 6 majors next season. That's correct, isn't it?
I'm pretty sure that sounds about right to me. Because basically the Tour Championship was still going to be played, I guess, ultimately a week later than maybe it was originally scheduled.
Yeah.
But, the Tour Championship will be over before the U.S. Open, and Augusta will happen in 2020. So it's going to have to roll into the 2020-2021 season. So in essence, next year you'll have 6 majors, in that cycle. So it should be interesting. Clearly the most intriguing one is going to be Augusta in November. What they're going to be able to do to that golf course, and how any sort of potential, rain and things along those lines are going to affect it. Granted, more in the spring, but you're just now overseeding the golf course that time of year. You're having to put more water on the golf course that time of year to make sure that the plant can continue to germinate. And I just see Augusta being, condition-wise, probably as soft as we have seen when they have had heavier rain years as opposed to drier years, just because of what they're going to have to do from a grow-in perspective. But I'm sure, per about normal, Augusta will figure out a way to provide a great event and wow all of us, and more than likely prove me wrong in some way, shape, or fashion.
And then we can get ready for Thanksgiving. How about that? That tradition unlike any other. Yeah. The Masters, then Thanksgiving.
Maybe it'll be a permanent move to November. Maybe it'll be such a great event that Augusta will say, you know what? The week before Thanksgiving sounds like a really good time slot for us. Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably.
John, always a pleasure, man. Thank you much for your time today. We appreciate it and looking forward to seeing all the action this week.
All right, guys. Thanks so much. Enjoy the golf season.
Thanks, man. Jon Goin joining us, PGA Professional and owner of Timber Trust Golf Course in Olive Branch, as we get golf back on the schedule this week.
There's no way they put the Masters to
No.
I think the other thing that you brought up about Tiger and that crowd, I think it's the effect it has on the other guys. That final day at the Masters last year, you cannot tell me that Finau and Molinari were not rocked at all. Like that crowd, the enormous size of it following them, you cannot tell me that did not rattle them at all.
Now think of the same situation playing out without a crowd, and I guess your biggest fear is just looking at the guy that you're opposing.
Yeah.
Which still could be pretty intimidating.
Yeah. But without
and hearing the golf commentator behind you going, he's got to be nervous.
Yeah. But without Tiger walking up that fairway with 5,000 people trailing him all the way, like that's got to make it a little easier for these guys, the younger guys especially. Yeah. And that was the one thing I took from Jon was that it seemed like it's a young man's game now. He was kind of like the older guys have stuff to do.
Well, and you wonder, too, because, watching Tiger play and Phil play in the match, it feels like it's just going to be more casual.
Yeah.
And you wonder how many guys does that benefit, being more casual and relaxed than other guys. I don't know. I mean, I think it's like that in every sport. We talk about the NBA. I mean, does it benefit anyone? Is it a detriment to anyone that you're playing in this sort of environment you haven't played in since either summer league in Orlando or high school?
Because guys like, to me, like Tiger, Koepka, I think they thrive on that crowd. Yeah. And it because they're not fazed by it. Like the big crowd, it does not faze them. They are not rattled by it. Where some of these other guys, I think probably are going to be a little bit more relaxed.
It'll be
when
interesting.
They're out there.
All right, we'll take a break here on the Odds Couple. We'll come back a little more SEC football. We'll have some golf picks, and we'll look at the NBA odds that just came out as well. It's all next here on the Odds Couple.
It's your boy Fat Joe here, world-famous rapper and world-famous direct auto insurance spokesman. Listen, I know what it's like to have money issues, but that didn't matter to Direct Auto. They'll work with you and get you the car insurance you need. You don't have to be rolling in the dough to get it going again. Go to directauto.com.
Get direct and get going. Save up to 25%. Direct Auto Insurance, Nashville, Tennessee. Rates apply. Discount subject to limitations, terms, and conditions. How you buy impacts cost.
Grammy and Oscar award-winning artist Cher is bringing her Here We Go Again tour to FedEx Forum on Wednesday, September 16th. The show will also feature special guests Nile Rodgers and Chic. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com or the FedEx Forum box office.
In everything we do, defensive activity, offensive execution, play together, have an edge about us. Just play with an edge. Play with an edge and play together.
Durant, lob for Sheeran, blocked by James. Dylan Brooks with authority. Tyus Jones to Brandon Clark. A turn and gun. He got it. Jones for three. Jones blocked by Jared.
Yeah, stay together, Blue. Stay together. Let it roll me, kid. Let's leave it out there.
John Goin with elevation.
Award-winning and Grammy-nominated artist Luke Combs will continue his extensive What You See Is What You Get tour with a stop at FedEx Forum this fall on Saturday, September 26th. The tour will also feature special guests Ashley McBryde and Ray Fulcher. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com or at the FedEx Forum box office. Luke Combs, Saturday, September 26th at FedEx Forum.
Grammy Award winner James Taylor and his All-Star Band are returning to FedEx Forum on Saturday, June 26, 2021, with special guest Jackson Brown. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com or at the FedEx Forum box office. Visit FedExForum.com for more details.
Welcome back to the Odds Couple on GrindCityMedia.com. Live from FedEx Forum and the American Home Shield Studio. Here's the Odds Couple, Rob Fischer and Lang Whitaker.
Tune in to GrindCityMedia.com to follow Michael Wallace and the aforementioned Lang Whitaker as they debate the biggest topics in the NBA and Grizz Weekly with IMHO. Michael and Lang will share their humble opinions on the hottest league of water cooler news, providing insight, analysis, and a little heat. Watch and read weekly by visiting GrindCityMedia.com or follow on Twitter at GrindCityMedia today. Welcome back to the Odds Couple. Rob Fischer, Lang Whitaker with you. John Roser here as well. SEC football planning on playing their season coming up this year. Players are getting on campus now and starting to work out, and they hope to have everything go swimmingly, which not a lot's going swimmingly, so we'll see how it works out. But because we're starting to plan for college football, some of the numbers have come out, including the ESPN FPI preseason projected win totals. In the SEC West, Alabama at 10.9, LSU 9.6, Auburn right there at 9.1, A&M at 8.9, and Ole Miss just over that 6 win total at 6.1. Arkansas at 5 and Mississippi State at 4.6, below the Arkansas Razorbacks.
Who would have thought that with everything going on in the world right now, and as wild and unstable if things has been everything, the one coach who has been the least problematic has been Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, that seems right.
Is it? Like, I don't know. It feels like there's so much going on, and we've seen like Mike Leach has already gotten in trouble in his new job. Mike Norvell's already like stepped in it, and somehow Lane Kiffin's just been kind of under the radar.
It's a new Lane Kiffin, man.
Is it? Maybe it is. That was my thought.
I mean, we keep asking it about Ed Orgeron. I guess we get to start asking it about Lane Kiffin.
Wait for the season to start. Lane will do something. Yeah. He will do something.
Well,
he can't keep himself out of the headlines.
Oh, no. I love that he retweets Leach all the time, the Mississippi State coach.
Yes.
That's very, very interesting. Lane talking about his Ole Miss Rebels.
That's a premier job that at times has performed like that and then times hasn't. That's partly why we're here today. So it's our job to bring it back to where it's been before and sustain. The program's done well at times, but then all of a sudden it'll go from 9 or 10 to 4 or 5 wins. You don't have those jumps. And so, when we nail this thing recruiting-wise from top to bottom in our classes and we develop the bottom of the roster, then we avoid those type of swings.
All right.
He reminds me of Carrie Elways in The Princess Bride, doesn't he?
Nice reference.
That's a good one?
That's pretty good.
All right.
Lane's Rebels Sporting News has got him going to the Las Vegas Bowl. CBSSports.com has them going 6-6. Meanwhile, for the Bullies, FPI 4.6 wins. CBS Sports has them going 5-7. Sporting News does not have them in a bowl. However, Mike Leach, he is ready to go.
We want as much action and as much work as we can possibly get in a short period of time. I know we've got a lot of work to do here, but, we've got some great players here, and I'm really excited about this challenge, and we've got plenty of hard work ahead of us, but it's going to be fulfilling work. We're going to have a lot of fun. Like any football coach, I've been familiar with this great state and the great players that play here and the pride that exists in this state, and I'm excited about this next step, this next chapter, and to be a Mississippi State Bulldog.
And Mike Leach reminds me of a couple of years ago, I went to see the Beach Boys in concert.
Right.
It's pretty much just this Brian Wilson and like 12 guys.
Right.
And Brian Wilson's kind of been through some stuff, health issues. And,
Sure.
And he's still there, but that's what Mike Leach reminds me of, like the modern day.
I'll say this about Mike Leach, though. I don't envision a Mike Leach team winning 5 games.
Oh,
I don't either.
No.
I mean, he's too good of a coach, with little on his team. He's done it.
He will win. He wins.
I wonder, though, like how the lack of preseason, all this stuff is going to affect them, because it's a whole new system and it's pretty different and usually pretty innovative and different. And I don't know if he'll be able to do as much as he would want to do.
Yeah.
And he's opened himself up to be able to recruit a different caliber player, too.
Yeah.
True.
That he's not been able to recruit.
That's true.
That system is known, man. Like, if you're a big-time quarterback prospect, it is like, go play for that guy. Like, he got a 4-star already. It's like, go play for that guy. You will put up numbers, and you will be seen.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Georgia in the East, they're the leaders in the FPI. Projected win totals at 10.2. Florida at 9.7. Kentucky at 7. Tennessee 6.3. Missouri at 6. South Carolina 5.8. And Vanderbilt 3.2.
I'm going to say this right now, and I might cause some waves here.
Okay.
I think this is Tennessee's year in the SEC East.
Okay.
The ATM has been repaired. They've got some continuity. They've got guys coming back. I don't think this is going to be a good year for Georgia. If you're Florida, you're relying on Kyle Trash.
He's one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the country.
Apparently. Kentucky finally got rid of their wide receiver at quarterback, but maybe they'll be better. I don't know. Yeah. But it feels like for Tennessee, they've got a lot of things going in the right direction all of a sudden.
And a good finish to last season for the Vols.
I ain't going to bet against Dan Mullen.
No.
I will.
I mean, look.
I'll do it.
Trash will be his second year with Mullen. Like, quarterbacks, you're going to get better under him. We've seen it.
Yeah.
Heck, the other dude was better. Who was the guy before?
Felipe Franks?
Yeah, Ballpark Franks was actually better than ever expected.
True.
All right, we'll get more SEC stuff in the upcoming months as we get closer to the season. NBA set to resume at the end of July, and some odds out there as you look at the odds for the resumption of the season to win the championship. Lakers, the overwhelming favorite at 5-2. Bucks and Clippers both at 3-1. Suns at 10,000 to 1. They're at the bottom. Grizzlies and the Magic at 1,000 to 1. The Blazers and Pelicans are ahead of the Grizzlies. Okay, fine. But the Grizzlies at 1,000 to 1 and the Blazers and Pelicans are 80 to 1?
Why?
What?
Like how?
Why all of a sudden are the Blazers and the Pelicans going to go 6-2 in these next 8 games?
Memphis versus everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Everybody. It just doesn't make a lot of sense.
No. I'd go with the I'd take the Clippers.
At 3 to 1?
Yeah. I'd take the Clippers.
You know
were
what,
talking about players not playing in front of fans. I know Chris Vernon talked about it. Like Kawhi. Like, he might prefer it this way.
He might, I don't know if he even knows he's played in front of fans
Well,
in his career.
You know a team that seems professional and feels like it could do it is Toronto.
Yeah.
They won the title last year.
I just don't know if they have enough. To me,
20 to 1.
To
I'm
me,
talking
the
20 to
Bucks might
1,
be
maybe.
I think the Bucks would be an interesting play, but
The Heat at 40 to 1.
No.
The way that they've played this year. No?
Man, I mean, maybe it helps them. They have a lot of older guys, and they get this time off.
If Philly gets up to that 5 seed, which they're right there with Indiana, I think they're just like percentage points behind. But if they get that, and that first round matchup is Miami and Philly, Milwaukee's going to have it cut out for them in that second round. Like they'll at least one of those teams. If the Miami Philly play in the first round, if they played Milwaukee in the second round, they will make it tough. I'm not saying they'll beat them. They will make it tough.
You cannot discount the Lopez brothers playing at Disney World.
Yes.
Like, this is their dream come true.
This is like home for them. Yeah.
Robin and I follow each other on Twitter, and he was tweeting about this yesterday. So they've already.
Nobody is more excited.
No.
Bet Online, they got odds out to get the 8th seed in the Western Conference. Grizzlies are favored to win the 8th seed at -190. Blazers plus 275. Pelicans plus 325. Then the Kings at plus 1,200. Spurs plus 1,800, although now they're without LaMarcus Aldridge the rest of the season. And the Suns at plus 15,000. So the Grizzlies are the favorite to at least get the 8th seed. So that's good. All right. So there's some basketball. We'll have more basketball as we get closer to the end of July, and basketball resumes. Meanwhile, golf resumes this week at Colonial Country Club, playing with no fans. Harris English, who went to school at Georgia Bulldog. Harris English.
Go Dogs.
Former winner here in Memphis as well. Harris English on talking about playing with no fans.
I can only imagine, especially this place coming down the stretch on 16, 17, 18, where the fans play such a huge part of interacting with us and getting us pumped up. It's going to be different. I know the tour is doing everything they can and helping keep us safe, helping keep the fans safe, and I'm excited about playing the next few days, and I'm sure it'll be great TV.
Rory McIlroy is the favorite at plus 700. Top 10 in 12 of his last 14 events, including 2 wins. Top 5 in his last 7 starts. A couple of other nuggets. Jason Day, first time he's been at Colonial since 2011. John Rahm, who is number 2 in the FedEx Cup, he's finished first or second in 5 of his last 10 starts. Wow. He's plus 1,100 this week as well. Dustin Johnson, first time at Colonial since 2014 at plus 2,500. Interesting, Daniel Berger, 2-time winner of the FedEx St. Jude Classic. He's plus 5,000. He's got 24 straight rounds of par or better. That is the longest active streak on the PGA Tour for Danny Berger. How about that? Tony Finau finished in second last year, 4 strokes back of Kevin Na, who was a defending champ, had a 62 in the second round last year. Those numbers, he is plus 5,500. All right, time for our picks. Our 5 picks this week. I'll go ahead and start with Fish's 5.
Let's go.
My Charles Schwab winner is Rory McIlroy. I'm just going with the guy who was hot before golf shut down. Top 5 in his last 7. That is a roll. World Golf Championship, FedEx St. Jude Invitational winner. I'm hoping Tiger comes, and I'll pick Tiger.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be the thing? He finally comes the year that nobody's going to be allowed to go.
Well, as of now, only the first 4 events nobody's allowed to go.
Okay.
So no, it might not be a capacity thing at that point, but hopefully there will be some people, and hopefully one of those people will be Tiger Woods here in Memphis. Also, PGA Championship, going with Brooks Koepka just to keep his streak alive of his great play in the major championships, although he's currently ranked 213, which is unbelievable.
He's not been playing well.
No.
He's been, bad.
Yeah.
He, looked bad.
FedEx Cup champion, I'll go with Rory and keep the streak alive for him, and I'll go 2 wins for Tiger Woods rest of the way.
Okay.
Lang's locks.
I also had 2 wins for Tiger the rest of the way. I was picking Tiger this week just because watching him on the match, he looked great. He was hitting the ball straight, hitting it right by the hole every time. I think he hit every fairway. He was incredible. So it looked like he was in good form, but now he's not playing. So I'll go with Brooks for this week because, got to go with somebody.
He's one of those guys. Hopefully the rest will be better instead of rust.
I'll go with Rory here in Memphis just because, as I tweeted last year, like Rory's been dominating Memphis for a long time on the Tiger Woods video game. That's who I use, and I've been killing everybody. PGA Championship winner Justin Thomas, and I just picked Phil to win the FedEx Cup because
it'd be a great
just to be
story.
fun. Yeah.
Roser.
I'm going to go with Jon Rahm this weekend.
Okay.
He's also now. Last year, I think he missed the cut at this event last year, but the previous year he finished top 5 at it. So he's got a record there, a track record, and he's also really freaking good. I'm gonna go with Rory to win the tournament here, the WGC FedEx St. Jude Invitational. I'm gonna go with Rory. He was close last year. He just had to go up against Koepka that final round, and Brooks got the best of him. But I'll pick Rory to win here. The PGA Championship, I'm going to go with Justin Thomas, and then I'll also pick Justin Thomas to be the FedEx Cup points winner. I think this is the big bounce-back year. You started to see him get better and better at the end of last season. Justin Thomas said he had 1 win. He won in, was it Illinois? They put somewhere, I think it was outside Chicago, where he had a big win. So I thought he continued coming back from that injury. He started playing better and better as the season went on, and I think this year he's going to be locked in. And I'll say 0 wins for Tiger. And I think that's the easy way to do it because, 1, it's tough to win golf tournaments. Sure. 2, he's not going to play that much. He's just not going to play. It's
You got to finish those puzzles.
He's doing puzzles.
And currently tied with Sam Snead with 82 wins. So no wins, we'd go into next year with Tiger not having passed Sam Snead. But expect that'll happen.
You don't even know when next year is or this year. Yeah.
I don't know. But I know that there's live golf this week.
Yes.
Which is going to be fun to watch. All right, that's going to do it for us here today on The Odds Couple. Roser, thank you very much.
Yes.
Kimball, thank you. Lang, always a pleasure. Great to see you as well. For Lang and Roser and Kimball, I'm Fish. Have a great week. Enjoy the live golf this week as well. We'll be back with you again when things get started. Hopefully we'll talk some NBA next time that we get together here on The Odds Couple. Until then, we'll talk to you later. Stay safe out there and enjoy the rest of the week.
Been listening to The Odds Couple from the American Home Shield Studio on GrindCityMedia.com. Tune in next week for more football handicapping with Rob Fisher and Lang Whitaker.